Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Emmanuel Forex Traders. This is Matthews, your mentor. I've been trading for the past 5 years, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the mindset of a Forex trader. What is it that distinguishes a professional trader and someone who's just getting started in the market? So, I'm going to be looking over to this laptop right here because I have everything written down for you guys so that we're able to get the most value from this video. Alright, so let's get started without wasting much of your time. So the first thing that you have to have as a forex trader is discipline over emotions. So we cannot run away from the fact that we are human beings, we are emotional beings. However, in order for you to become a consistently profitable trader in the market, you need to have discipline over emotions. You need to learn how to manage your emotions. You need to learn how to handle your emotions because emotions are going to be triggered every time we're in trades. When you're about to take a trade, you're going to have fear, you can have greed and all that. So if you don't take care of these emotions, guess what? They are going to prevent you from becoming a consistently profitable trader. So you need to be able to follow your system regardless of the outcome of the previous trade. Not following emotions, but discipline. Remember, discipline is very, very important. Emotions like greed, fear, FOMO, these are always going to be there. But it's your job as a trader to try and actually manage these things by following a system. So it's really, really important that you have a system in place that allows you to follow everything that you've back tested and forward tested in the market. And if you don't have discipline, guess what? You have no chance to make it in this industry because this requires strong willpower and discipline in order for you to be consistently profitable in this market. All right. So the second thing after discipline and emotion is patience is power. Guys, patience can be applied in so many ways when it comes to trading, guys. Remember, you have to analyze your trade, right? Like for me, for example, I'll give you an example. I focus my trades. Before I take any trade, I'm going to focus these particular trades and share them in a private community, right? Then after that, I have to wait for the market to come to my POI before I can even think of taking a trade. And that's a lot of patience. And then guess what? When you enter a particular trade, even before you enter a particular trade, you have to wait for the confirmation signal. You have to wait for the market to tell you, okay, the market now is ready to actually move in my direction. After that, you have to enter, and then you have to wait. Sometimes the market can be at the same place for like 2 hours, and you have to have the patience to wait it out without actually wanting to get out or being emotional about it. If you don't have patience, it will be very difficult for you as a trader. So find a way to inculcate patience in your life, not just in trading, but in your life as well, so that can overflow into trading. Otherwise, it will be very, 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 very difficult. Sometimes setups will take a week to actually, if you're a swing trader, it can take a week for you to hit take profit. All right, so it's all about being able to wait for the market to actually give you an opportunity, and also be able to actually stay with it when the market is now moving in your direction. Patience is really, really, really important. Sometimes that base trade can take 2 days for you to hit take profit, and you have to have the patience and the emotional resilience to be able to withstand that 2 days. It won't be very easy, but it will be worth it. So make sure you grow patience, find a way of practicing patience, so that that's going to help you in becoming a consistently profitable trader. That cannot be overemphasized, so make sure you work on it. It's really, really important. All right, so the number three point is acceptance of loss. This is very, very deep. Why? Because in our society, right, we believe that when you work extra hard, when you do these things, when you do all your due diligence, you do this is there's a very high chance of you actually making money and you are going to win, right? But in trading, it's not like that. In trading, the market works in terms of probability, and you can do everything right and still lose. That's the reason why we don't judge ourselves on the outcome of trades, because we have no control over that. What is it that we have control over? We have control over the process. So as long as your process is correct, the outcome of the market doesn't matter, whether it's a win or a loss. That is outside your circle of control. Therefore, focus on the things that you have control over, which is risk management, the type of setups that you're taking, and all that. Those you have control over. However, outcome, You have no control over it. Therefore, if a trade comes to your stop loss, you have to take the loss gracefully. Why? Because you have no control over it. You did your part, and that part of winning or losing, that's outside of your control. Therefore, even before you take a trade, you have to tell yourself, like, okay, I accept the outcome of this particular trade. You actually have to tell yourself you've already lost a particular trade because you have no control over it. And the more you think about the negative, the better it's going to be, whether if the trade cards actually becomes a loss. But if you're thinking too much about the positive, guess what? You're going to have unrealistic expectations, which are going to be very painful when you lose. Guess what? For example, if let's say you're hoping that trade actually makes you $1,000, maybe $1,000 is your rent. Guess what's going to happen? If you lose that money, you didn't just lose a trade, you also lost your chance to pay rent, and that's going to hit 10 times more. Why? Because you have put unrealistic expectations, and it will be very, very difficult for you to actually handle that pain because you've lost so much more. So it's really, really important to understand that losses are part of the game, and there's no way to avoid losing in this market. So it's all about being able to manage our risk. Before you even enter into any particular trade, ask yourself, how much money am I willing to lose in this particular trade? You should know in advance how much money you are standing to lose on that particular trade. And that's going to separate you from the 95% of traders who are consistently losing money in the market. It's extremely important. Remember, think in probabilities, not in certainties, because you and I have no control over outcome. It's extremely important. So a losing trade doesn't mean that you're a bad trader. No, a losing trade is just part of the series of trade sequence. You have to have a larger sample size kind of a mindset where you're thinking in terms of probability, not on a trade by trade basis. So if you take 2 losses in a row, that's okay. 3, that's okay, because it's part of the probability sequence. It's extremely important for you as a trader to understand that concept, because if you don't, it's going to haunt you forever. It's extremely, extremely important. Number 4 is process over outcome. I always talk about this. Guys, if you take a trade right now, if you took a trade right now, there is no way to know in advance whether a trade is going to go in a direction or not. And let me tell you, no one in the whole world knows what's going to happen on the next trade. Like Mark Douglas puts it, like, it's all about having a process mindset over an outcome based mindset. When you backtest your strategy, it will tell you not on a, in not in strategies in terms of how many trades you're going to win in a row. It doesn't tell you that. Your system only tells you over a series of trades what's going to happen. Whether you're going to have a 50% win rate, 60% or 40% win rate. It doesn't tell you that when you take 10 trades, you're going to win 5 trades in a row and 5 losses in a row. It doesn't happen like that. The market works in terms of probability. Therefore, it's all about focusing on execution, which is the process that we can control. The outcome, we have no control over it. No matter how much you're going to stress about it, there is no way it's going to impact the outcome of the trade. So, you have to think long term, think of execution. If you take a trade, keep on executing regardless of the outcome of the previous trade. Keep on executing, and that's going to separate you from the 95% of traders. So if you take a trade goes in your direction, you win. You followed the rules, great. You took a trade and the trade went against you and you lost money, but you followed your rules, you still won because you followed the system. You followed the only thing that you have control over, which is your process. That is extremely important. Outcome, forget about it because you have no control over it. No matter how you cry about it, no matter how much you pray about it, guess what? That's going to have no effect on your trade. So trust your process, trust your system. Very, very, very important. All right. Risk management is everything. Risk management is the most important thing in the market. Because guess what? If you run out of money, you can't trade anymore. If you run out of money, you won't be able to trade anymore. That's the sad part about it. Therefore, take care of your money. take care of your money, guys. Take care of your account. Always respect risk management. Before you even think of taking any particular trade, you have to accept the risk in advance. Say, oh, I'm risking $100 on this particular trade, and if I lose, I'm losing only $100. If I win, I might make maybe three, four, five times the amount of money I'm risking. And you have to be ready to lose that $100. The moment you're not ready to lose that amount of money you're risking, guess what? You are going to be checking your chart every second because you've not fully internalized and accepted the risk of that particular trade, which is extremely, extremely important. So you have to accept risk in advance. You need to know exactly how much money am I willing to lose on this particular trade, and you must be completely and utterly okay with losing that money. It's extremely important. So before you take any particular trade, use a position size calculator and calculate how much lot size you're going to use. Just simply input the numbers, and it's going to tell you in terms of how much money or risk you're going to be using. If you're risking 1%, it will tell you, okay, risk 1% of this account is this much, and this is the lot size you're going to be using. You don't have to manually calculate that. Nowadays, there's calculators out there. So make sure you respect risk management. Risk management is the only thing that's going to keep you in the game. It doesn't matter whether you have a 50% win rate, you have a 90% win rate. If you don't respect risk management, you're going to be beaten at the end of the day. Stick to your risk management. Be consistent with that. Don't risk $10 today, risk $50 tomorrow, risk $1,000 the other day. You won't be consistent. So make sure that you are consistent with your risk management. Extremely important. All right. So as a trader, you have to continuously learn. Markets are going to change. There's going to be new things coming. Find a way to keep on learning. Be a good learner. Be a lifelong learner. The markets are going to change, so you need to be able to adapt in the markets and actually continue to actually grow. However, don't change strategies every just because you're encountering losses right now. That's because you have two, three, four losses in a row. Doesn't mean that you have to change your strategy. For example, I've been using the same strategy for the past 4 years. 4 years, the same strategy. Why? Because I seen it's profitable. It has some down days, some down weeks, some down months. I know months like May are terrible for my strategy. And I know that because I've experienced it 4 times, right? But I don't change my strategy because when that passes, my trades can be really, really, really good. So I don't change my strategy because I'm experiencing losses. I look at, okay, maybe I should add more stop loss right there so that I can avoid fake outs and all that. So that you know those tricks, a bit of tricks here and there, but I don't change my strategy. I don't change my strategy for the past 4 years because it's profitable. All right, so it's really, really important. Don't be an all in trader where you are risking everything so that you can maybe make a lot of money in one particular trade. That's going to actually mess you up, right? So you see these guys who are constantly flipping accounts, $10 to $1,000, $5 to $100, this amount to this amount. Guess what? Those guys won't show you how many times they've lost in the past. They only show you that part when they were right, but they won't show you how many times they've blown accounts, right? So don't take everything literally that you see on social media. It's really, really important to respect your risk management because you don't know what happens behind closed doors. So it's very, very, very important. And number 7 and the last one is confidence without ego. You need to be confident in your strategy. I can tell you with 100% certainty, right? If I'm taking a particular trade, I don't know what's going to happen on that particular trade. But guess what? If I take 10, 15 trades, I can tell you with 100% certainty that I'm going to be profitable. Unless the market is just crazy that particular month. But if I take 10 trades, I can give you 100% certainty that I'm going to make money on that particular week. Because I have a system which I've backtested and it has shown I only need 1, 2, 3 winners in a week, in a month to be profitable. Like I don't need to win all my trades for me to be profitable. That's the good part when you have good risk management and with high risk reward ratio like we do. So it's all about having the confidence in the system, and that confidence only comes when you've back tested your strategy, you forward tested, and it has proven beyond reasonable doubt that your strategy will make money over time. That's when you have confidence. And it's extremely important. And that comes from experience, self awareness. That's how you do it. Without it, you can't become a consistent profitable trader. You don't. It's not about having ego. Every time you have one win, you are all out there, you're all screaming and shouting. You are the best trader in the world, and then in the next trade, you are depressed because you're living on a trade by trade basis, which is really a sad way of living. So have confidence in your strategy, no ego. Ego leads to over risking and ignoring your risk and all that, which ends up burning your account, and that will not work well for you as a trader, and you won't last very long in this market. All right, so a trader's edge doesn't just come from strategy. Remember, it's from mindset, emotional control, and the ability to remain consistent under pressure. And that's what's going to differentiate you from the 95% of traders who are consistently losing money. All right, it's my hope that you actually found value in this video, and if you have, make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment in the comment section so that you have such content coming and you'll be notified whenever you drop such content. You guys, I hope you found value. Until next time, goodbye.